I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Big O, Mr. in the Black himself. I wanted just to take a few minutes and throw a video together because I do have some questions about this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing that's going on, and how the MAGA world seems to be going crazy because they're not getting the results that they asked for when they elected Trump. So that we can have a better understanding of what this whole thing looks like, we have to take a look at the timeline and see how things played out. So on June 30th of 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty in Florida to 2 felony prostitution charges, procuring a minor for prostitution and solicitation of prostitution. He was sentenced to 18 months in county jail, serving about 13 months with work release privileges. On 2019, a federal indictment came down where a federal arrest and charges. Epstein was arrested on July 6th of 2019 in New Jersey and transferred to New York. He was officially charged when the indictment was unsealed on July 8th of 2019 in Manhattan federal court. He faced 1 count of sex trafficking of minors, up to 40 years in prison, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of minors, up to 5 years in prison. A plea denial and bail. He pleaded not guilty, and the bail was denied on July 18th of 2019. He was never sentenced. Epstein died on August 10th of 2019, and before his federal trial could be commenced. As a result, his federal charges were dismissed on August 29th, and no further federal sentencing occurred. So, why are these dates important? Well, all of that's going to make a little bit more sense after we talk about some of the comments that Donald Trump has recently made as well. Now, we got to start from the very beginning, actually. All of this Epstein thing didn't just spark out of nowhere. This is a culmination of events that stemmed from the whole QAnon thing, which is also an event that stems from Pizzagate as well. For those of you that don't know or aren't familiar with what Pizzagate is, back in 2016, late 2016, there was a rumor, a conspiracy floating around the internet that supposedly that there were Democratic politicians that were housing minors in the basement of a local pizza place.
Big surprises of the presidential campaign was the explosion of fake news on the internet. Fantastic tales that some believed to be true.
28-year-old Edgar Welch was arrested in Washington Sunday afternoon outside Comet Ping Pong, a popular family pizza parlor. D.C. police say Welch fired at least 1 round into the restaurant floor with an AR-15 rifle like this one on his Facebook page. No one was injured. Police say Welch drove all the way from North Carolina to self-investigate Pizzagate, a fictitious online conspiracy theory. Pizzagate started on the internet shortly before Election Day, when right-wing sites that make up fake news spread rumors that Hillary Clinton was involved in a child sex trafficking ring in D.C. Court documents say Welch read online that the Comet restaurant was harboring child sex slaves, and he was armed to help rescue them. He surrendered peacefully when he found no evidence that underage children were being harbored.
Fast forward that now to after the election of Donald Trump, and here comes the emergence of QAnon. Now, if you're not familiar with QAnon essentially said that there is a ring, a cabal of politicians, mainly Democratic.
QAnon first emerged in the months after President Trump took office, starting on fringe internet message boards before spreading to social media. Adherents allege, among other things, that the president is the target of so-called deep state actors, high-ranking officials plotting against him. The conspiracy quickly took off, and the president's supporters latched on to the mysterious Q. Signs and T-shirts appeared at Trump's campaign rallies. Last year, the FBI labeled the movement a potential domestic terror threat.
The QAnon conspiracy theory originated on 4chan in October of 2017, though it has its origins in Pizzagate. The basic premise is that a group of high-level military intelligence officials close to President Trump, QAnon followers believe, are sending out secret coded messages on these image boards about this great grand battle of good versus evil, in which Trump and what they call the Q team are working to destroy a global cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles, which the QAnon community believes is controlling everything, and that includes politicians, entertainment, and the media.
It's supposed to be the election of Donald Trump. The election of Donald Trump, and it can't be understated, the election of Donald Trump was supposed to be of a biblical reckoning. That Donald Trump was elected to now come into place and blow the lid off of all of this conspiracy and bring all of these people to justice. So now with this whole Epstein thing, it actually goes outside of the realm of conspiracy, because here we have Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime girlfriend, and the groomer of said almost 250 young girls, minor girls, that were captured is not necessarily the word, but solicited in some way to participate in these things. So it's not as though this is any conspiracy or rumor. This is actually confirmed through the arrest, indictment, charge, and sentencing of Ghislaine Maxwell. So this now brings into question the whole Epstein list thing. We do now know, as a matter of fact, that there is a villain, there are victims, there is a culprit in this whole equation, and still the only people that are being looked at or that has been charged at this point is Ghislaine Maxwell. So when MAGA asks the question, what happened to Epstein's list? Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't just grooming these young girls for just Jeffrey Epstein. There were other people that were involved. This alleged island that folks were being sent to or going to partake in this debauchery, right? So we know that this is all factual. The problem becomes when people start trying to pull the wool over your eyes the way that Donald Trump and his current administration is doing. Let's not forget that not too long ago, Bongino and Kash Patel, the director and deputy director of the FBI, before they got into their positions, were already flaming the fires of this whole Epstein thing, saying that they had contacts inside of the FBI and the Department of Justice that were telling them that there was a list, and the list was such a damning list, and there were so many of these Democratic politicians and Hollywood elites that were on this list that are going to ultimately be exposed, and that how the federal government was defending Epstein, and that once they were able to get in, once Trump was able to get in, that all the lid would have been blown off of this whole thing. Fast forward now to July of 2025, and now none of this makes any sense. We have the same Kash Patel and Bongino talking about there is no Epstein list. We have Pam Bondi, who used to be the personal attorney for Donald Trump, who is now the head of the DOJ, saying that there is no list and that Epstein committed suicide, even though there are questions about the evidence, the tapes that were recently released about where Epstein was being held in prison. Wired did a wonderful job on breaking down the actual videotape from Epstein's prison cell and saying that it has been doctored. Now, I'm not saying that there is a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that any of the things that the Trump administration is saying isn't true. But what I am saying is that after all of this time, after flaming the fires of this list that's supposed to expose all of these different people and how there are so many different culprits that are involved that participated in the molestation and abuse of over 200 minor aged girls, and no one has been charged, no one has been convicted, no one has been indicted, no one has been brought up on anything at this point. Now we have Donald Trump coming back and saying that the list is fake, even though several months before, same Kash Patel, Bondi, said that this list was not fake. Bondi said that she had a list on her desk, had the documents on her desk, and was handing it out to all of these right-leaning podcasters. Fast forward now, and Trump says that the list exists, but the list is fake, and that the list is not a list that was compiled by him, but was compiled by Obama and Biden. Now, I gave you the dates already. Epstein was arrested and charged back in 2019. Who was president in 2019? But we're left to believe that somehow, some way, that this is all some sort of hoax that was brought up by Obama, Biden, and by Hillary Clinton. One of the more fascinating parts about this whole exchange is watching the MAGA world fall down around the ears of every MAGA supporter and Donald Trump defender. Not those people necessarily that voted for him, because some people voted for different reasons and so on and so forth. We'll get into that another time. But those people that are hardcore MAGA, those people that defend Trump at every turn, watching the house of cards that they've built fall down around their ears to finally realize that this man is a unabashed liar, has been wonderful and fascinating to watch. And once again, I can't understate how this thing has been, how the initiative, this whole mission about exposing Jeffrey Epstein, exposing the likes of the QAnon, or confirming the QAnon conspiracy, confirming the likes of the Pizzagate conspiracy, that this was a biblical initiative, that these were right and well-meaning Christians that believed that there was abuse going on of minors, and it was their job, and Donald Trump, their savior's job, to come and help them to clean things up. If you follow any of his stuff on Truth Social, and even if you follow X as of recently Twitter, you'll see that a lot of his supporters are butthurt. They're really, really hurt at this point. They're really disappointed, and they're really flabbergasted at the fact that now they're trying to get the wool pulled over their eyes to say that don't believe your lying eyes, don't believe your ears, as I told you. But there's nothing, there's no there, and you guys should go about your business. It's, like I said, I can't say whether or not this conspiracy actually exists. What I will say is that the facts bear out that there is evidence that people should be allowed to ask questions about. And I don't think it's unfair to ask where this list is, who's on the list. Why was the video of his prison cell doctored, that you, the released videotape of what you released to the public, why was that video doctored? Why hasn't anyone else besides Ghislaine Maxwell, how come no one besides Ghislaine Maxwell has been charged at this point? Why haven't we been allowed to hear what Ghislaine Maxwell has to say? These are all valid and legitimate questions. And it honestly can't be understated how much not just Donald Trump is, but how much the Republican Party is playing in MAGA supporters' faces. Trump is now attacking his own supporters, basically saying that they're falling for Democrats.
I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein Files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your Attorney General told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen of that?
No, it's not the Attorney General, no. I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work.
You gotta ask the question now, after almost a decade of writing this conspiracy theory all the way through. Three things are possible at this point. Either one, there's truth to it, and Trump is covering up that his name, or possibly other people that are of import that are close to him, their names are on this list. Or two, that it was a lie, and he knew it was a lie and used it anyway to get votes. Or three, he found out it was a lie as after he entered into office, and now he's just trying to get people to shut up. But I think honestly, overall, it's still, those are questions that are still worth asking, and I think the public deserves answers to it. So I want to know what you guys think. Is it a lie? Do you believe that Trump is covering something up? Do you believe that he thought it was a lie initially and used it as a tool just to get into office? Or do you believe he found out that it was a lie along the way and now he just wants people to stop talking about it? Let me know in the comments.